It's Will Ospreay of New Japan Pro Wrestling, representing the Don Callis family. And he takes on Chris Jericho. Jericho, the biggest signing of AEW when AEW first got started. It was Chris Jericho who would ultimately become the first AEW World Champion. And with Ospreay having his eyes set on officially signing with All Elite Wrestling post New Japan run, Ospreay has a big opportunity to pave his path as he starts to move into the AEW playing field. It's a totally different playing field from New Japan Pro Wrestling. On top of the fact that the style is different, some of the biggest stars in pro wrestling are in All Elite Wrestling. There is a reason that we say this is where the best wrestle. And you can't count out the fact that Ospreay is here after the way he just corkscrewed and took out Jericho. Absolutely incredible the way Ospreay is able to control his body. And there comes a forearm by Ospreay. Might I add that it was mere phenomenal. Ospreay could be looking to put Jericho away early with a hidden blade, but Jericho saw it coming. There was nothing hidden about it. These two trading chops. We're in the home territory of Will Ospreay, so you gotta think that Ospreay has home advantage in this setting. With the fans behind Ospreay, that can make the difference. The adrenaline of having the fans behind your back. There's nothing like it. And with mere 80,000 in attendance, when it counts the most for Ospreay, they'll be there when he needs it. Again, these two superstars, these two athletes trade blows. And Ospreay comes in with a hard shot that knocks Jericho down to his knees. As Jericho goes down, the crowd is hyped for Ospreay. Thinking about picking a winner between these two, what it's going to come down to is, with Ospreay having the home field advantage, as I mentioned, it's a big part. And what builds the elite, builds that adrenaline up. What keeps you going when you think you can't go anymore. However, Jericho's the veteran, so you have to take that into account. But with that idea of Jericho being the veteran, his body has taken a lot more abuse over the years, which means his body isn't quite what it used to be. And that's not to say Jericho can't go like he used to. Jericho can't go far, because he can. It's not quite like what he used to, and you have to change your style up over time. Jericho's been a world champion within the past few years, so there's no doubt about that. Jericho can still go, but Ospreay trying to fight back. Jericho able to stop Ospreay. Ospreay realizing he's in the danger zone, doing everything he can to fight back, but Jericho continuing to fight. Oh my God. That was a nasty German suplex on the apron. The way that it seemed that Ospreay landed on his neck, the way that he landed out, I've got to get another look at this. Oh, the landing on the back of the neck. The way that Jericho was able to get his hips low. And when you lift your opponent up, couple of birds in the crowd here at Wembley Stadium, directly from Chris Jericho, being sent out. It's Jericho, who's now in the driver's seat of this match, has slowed down the pace. The thing is, when you go from such a fast pace to a slow pace, it can slow down. It'll slow down your heart rate very quickly, and you'll realize how heavy you're breathing. However, Ospreay, his endurance has been known to be very good. With this being the biggest stage in Ospreay's career, will the pressure get to Ospreay? Jericho, who's competed in the main event on some of the biggest stages around the world throughout his over 30-year career. So there's no doubt about it that when it comes to nerves, Jericho is set. Jericho is used to being on the big stage, whether it's as a professional wrestler or being in Fozzy. Ospreay starting to fight back, inverted atomic drop, and follows it up with a chop and a standing shooting star. Will it be enough to put Jericho away as Jericho gets the shoulder up at 2? And I mentioned that Will Ospreay having Don Callis in his corner. For Chris Jericho, he has Sammy Guevara in his corner. So if things go south on either side, we'll see how it plays out between their corner men. Ospreay was going for a couple Kawada kicks. Now up at the top, Jericho starting to hammer away on Ospreay. What could Jericho possibly be going for? As Jericho starts to pummel away on Ospreay. They're going for the Hurricane Rana. Oh, that was a nasty landing for Ospreay. Hooks the far leg to put away Ospreay, but it doesn't quite secure the victory for Jericho. As this match rolls on, Ospreay's been having a hard time finding his footing the last couple minutes or so in this match, trying to find his footing back in it. Jericho gets a nice shot on Ospreay. Ospreay fights back. Oh, Jericho using his instincts. Lion salt, but Ospreay gets the knees up. It's a counter for counter situation. Hanging Jericho up on the top rope. Jericho got caught with a knee by Ospreay. And Ospreay up at the top. Oh my God! And taking flight with a shooting star onto a draping Jericho. Unfortunately for Ospreay, Jericho found a way to kick out. However, the damage is done as you get another look at that. Look at the way that Jericho's knee got caught up in the rope. That could have been really devastating and done a little bit of extra damage to the knee. Code breaker to the back. And another code breaker that launches Ospreay up. Jericho looking for it. Again, Ospreay finds a way to kick out before 3. The longer this match goes on, who does it favor? That's the thing, is who does this match favor? Jericho, while in the latter part of his career, went for... Wow. Jericho gets nailed with an Os Cutter, following a reversal of a Judas effect. Ospreay to secure the victory. And I was starting to say about how the longer this match goes on, who does it favor? While Jericho is in the latter of his career, Jericho is still in tremendous shape. However, Ospreay hasn't even reached the peak of his career yet. Ospreay, Stormbreaker, but gets caught. Hurricane Rana to counter. Jericho looking for the walls. The walls of Jericho. And there it is. This is going to put a lot of pressure on the lower back of Ospreay. The damage is being done. Ospreay is trapped in the middle of the ring. Can Ospreay find the willpower as he pulls himself up on his hands and his forearm? Callis distracting the ref. Guevara with the bat. Aubrey Edwards, the referee, who did not see it. That's it. He's out. There's one. Two more times, and it's over. The Ocho Jericho. Ospreay starting to fight back. Can he do it? Here comes some rights from Ospreay. Now both of them start to hammer down, but Ospreay gets the better of the two. You can definitely see that those weren't full-fledged punches. There wasn't full strength behind them because of the damage that's been done. You have to shake off the damage from the bat connecting with the skull. Jericho gets caught. Standing Spanish fly. And again, another kick out to keep this match going as Jericho survives. Ospreay this time looks to call his shot. A hidden blade, but a code breaker. Jericho seemingly took out Ospreay. It was a rough landing. I don't know if he got all of that. He was attempting a Jericho cutter. And his take on the Os cutter. However, it's Ospreay who kicks out, and he's fired up, and he is ready to go. A new life in Ospreay finds its way into the veins of the UK native. Ospreay with a nasty forearm follows it up with a super kick. Perhaps looking for a Stormbreaker, but Jericho jumps over and distracted the ref while he got a low blow. What a cheap shot. And the Judas effect lays out Ospreay. Not this way. Not this way. And Ospreay's home. But Ospreay will not lay down for the cheap way. Ospreay will not let Jericho take this victory easy. It's going to take a lot more than that. Wembley is all for Ospreay. All in. As Jericho perhaps looking to connect with the walls again. Ospreay trying to fight out of it. Look at this. Rolls through it. Nice pin combo. Oh, that was close. Ospreay counters. Power bomb. Jackknife to put away Jericho, but not enough to secure the victory. Went for a Judas effect of his own. Judas effect. And a Storm Breaker. There it is. That's got to do it. What? Jericho just kicked out of the Storm Breaker. But Ospreay realizes, while it's not enough, with the elbow pad off, there is no safeguard for the hidden blade that won't be so hidden. Jericho wants it. And Ospreay. And a second Stormbreaker. And Ospreay is victorious. The aerial assassin. And he has been elevated. Ospreay in front of the biggest crowd he has ever competed in front of. In his hometown. Nonetheless, his home. Sammy Guevara can't believe it. He nailed Ospreay with a bat early in the match. Both men put on quite the performance, but it was just Will Ospreay who wanted it more, knowing that he had all the fans behind him. You can't teach that. You can't teach the courage, the willpower. You can't surpass somebody who was willing to do anything for the fans that are his fans in his home, with his friends, in front of his friends, in front of his family. You can't go against that. And tonight, you couldn't bet against Will Ospreay because Ospreay gets the victory over Chris Jericho. It was still a great performance by Chris Jericho as Sammy Guevara helps up. Jericho pushing back Guevara. What is this about? Sammy was trying to be there for Jericho. Jericho wants his space. Jericho not taking this loss very lightly, to say the least. A rough loss for Chris Jericho. This is the biggest stage in AEW history. And Jericho was unfortunate in his efforts, was unable to prevail in his efforts in taking down Will Ospreay in London.